Hi folks, I'm here with Scarbringer from West Flanders, Belgium. I saw a very nice concert of you at the release party a bit more than a week ago. Well, in fact, we are here together because we're also going to shoot a nice video clip. I hope it's going to be nice here at the Verlichte Geest, cool venue. What did you think about the release party yourself?
The release party was more than we expected. It was awesome. The fans loved it. They gave us energy to keep pushing ourselves. It was amazing. For me, one word, it's a night I will never forget.
Well, it was the best performance ever. All this performance that we have 2020 and 2021. Yeah, I think here in the Verlichte Geest is the best performance ever.
It was a rare occasion that this whole place was stacked the way it was. The evening of the release party itself, and everybody was just on fire. And the more energy we gave to the crowd, the more they gave back to us, and it just kept going back and forth. And at the end of the night, everybody was exhausted, but it was so worth it. It was fucking unbelievable. I don't have any other words.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Like Thomas said, there was an amazing energy this evening. A lot of people, everybody loved it. We loved it. I also proposed to my girlfriend that night because this place has a very special meaning for us. So it was amazing.
I found it amazing too. I entered the venue at the second or the third song of Phoenix Rebellion and was all sweaty. People going crazy, a really very crowded venue, and especially very crowded because it was so many other gigs around in the same style. So congrats for having so many people. For people discovering you, make it easier. Your first name and function in the band, and the one who wants to speak about it, a biography of the band.
I'm Jonas. I play drums for the band. The origin started for us in 2019. I was asked by our vocalist Thomas on a festival in a very drunk mood if I could play drums for him in a band, and I drunkenly said yes.
I'm Jonas Mills and I play bass, but my band call me Mr. Mills because he's Jonas too, of course. And on the festival on Grasspop, asked Thomas me for if I want the bass player of this band, and I say yes, of course. And I was not drinking, of course, so.
Yeah, before he got into the band, he didn't drink a single ounce of alcohol. Then he joined, and everything went downhill after that. But he's still one hell of a bass player. I gotta give him that. No, seriously, there's no more versions to this story either way. We were all really wasted, except for one. That's how everything started. I just kept on holding on to this dream that I had in my head of just actually being in a band that was on stages, that would maybe later on record songs. Back then, that was still like a faraway dream, but in the meantime, it also happened. So yeah, that's how we got started.
Yeah, I wasn't drunk either because I wasn't there. I joined later. I had been playing guitar for a pretty long time. I actually used to jam with... Oh, there goes my cigarette. I actually used to jam with Thomas a long time ago, and he asked me, well, I started a new band, you want to join as a guitar player? And I really didn't want to because I hadn't played guitar in 5 years. But I did it anyway, and I have not regretted it since.
So my longest question for you, suppose you're on a desert island, you don't have internet, no phone, no radio, no television, only a record player or a CD player, and you can listen only to 3 albums for the rest of your life on the desert island. One detail, you're not on the same island, so you cannot exchange 9 albums to the others.
My top 3 would be the first one I ever bought. It was Iowa from Slipknot. Changed my life completely. Started growing my hair long. Wanted to get piercings, tattoos, Everything changed with that record. Then I get to know Sepultura, the old Sepultura. KOCD is my favorite album of them. And the third one is Death, the Human CD. Amazing drum patterns, amazing vocals, amazing guitar. I just love that album from front to back.
I was 15 or 16 years, and then I started with the bass, and that was because of Papa Roach. My favorite album of Papa Roach is The Connection. I very like this album. I think it's the best album from Papa Roach. And the second album is Life Starts Now from 3 Days Grace. And this band from Canada, I really like this, and I want always as bass player in a band. So the other album is Breaking Benjamin, The Agony. That is, I like this album. So
my approach would be a bit more old school, I guess, because if I had to make a top three, I would have to start out with Master of Puppets by Metallica. First time I ever heard that record, I had a completely wrong image of Metallica because they were being played on the radio or whatever, and I thought it was like this gentle going rock band, and then all of a sudden you hear that whole Puppets record and it blows your brains out. And it just, I kept on playing it, and I couldn't believe that this was a record that was made so damn long ago. It was made around the time I was born, and that's the one that just introduced me to really heavy music, and the whole freaking world opened up for me. And just, I really still love that album. Have it on CD, have it on vinyl. Can listen to it any day, and it never gets boring. Second one would have to be Back in Black by AC/DC. First record where they had obviously change in the lineup, because unfortunately Bon Scott had passed away. Brian Johnson came in instead. Few ever had to fill bigger shoes, but correct me if I'm wrong, he did an amazing job at that. Just if you check out live performances of around when the album came out, he just absolutely throws himself into it. I've picked up a lot of like live moves or whatever from him, and just everything on that album is just right. It's AC/DC. It's, well, people would sometimes mockingly say it's only like 3, maximum 4 chords, but you know what? Sometimes you don't need more than that. Everything is just, it just snaps. It just locks into each other like fucking Lego. It's perfect. You can't add anything more to that. And number 3 would be like Warriors of the World by Manowar. I think it's fair to say if Metallica was the band that got me into metal in the first place, Manowar was the band that actually made me a metalhead. Like, I saw this video clip of Warriors of the World United, and you just see these guys standing there, like wearing leather jackets, having long hair, and making songs about warriors and Vikings and like fighting with honor, and being pretty much of a history nerd all over. I was blown away by that. I didn't know that actually existed. It almost seemed like this band was making music solely for me, and everything just started growing and evolving. I only got to know more bands after that. But seriously, as soon as you just hear that choir doing the intro for Call to Arms, that's the first track on the album, it's just, I still get goosebumps every time I hear it. It's just like, to me, that's like number 1. It's, don't have anything more to add to that.
Well, my top 3 changes all the time, but right now I would probably pick a Black Sabbath album, because Black Sabbath is basically, well, the foundation for everything that is heavy metal today, and also for me was one of the first bands I ever listened to in terms of metal. I'd probably pick the album Paranoid itself, not just because of the song Paranoid, because of all the other amazing songs that are on there. My second album would be something of a guilty pleasure, I guess. Would be Volbeat's second album, Guitar Gangsters and Cadillac Blood. I still think it's their best album. I absolutely love every song on that. And third song would be something more recent, the second album from a band called Drag Thunder, which isn't really, they're really coming up in the world. It's something of a hardcore punk band. But really their second album, what's it called again? Upright Animals. Every song on that is just amazing, amazing production, amazing songwriting. So yeah, I'd pick those 3.
Gonna be very sporty. I would take now Mari Hamada Lunatic Doll, the metal queen from Japan. Second, I will take Michael Jackson, Off the Wall, the first album he did as an adult with a huge, good production by jazz musician Quincy Jones. And third album I will take is Candlemass, Ancient Dreams. I saw this tour in '88. I'm that lucky or that unlucky, I'm already that old. You have something to add, like near future plans? It's my last question, and meanwhile you can also mention where people can follow you on social media.
What's the plans in the future? We hope more performance and maybe more video clips. I don't know. And I think our first album is almost ready. So.
Well, you know more than I do, apparently. But anyway, yeah, the final Scarbringer gig for this year will be next week in Verlichte at a tiny little gig called Hooverok. I've been there before. It's really a charming tiny place or whatever. We're going to be sharing the stage with Bert and Nevermind Nessie. It's going to be a party, so just come on out. Don't miss it. It's going to be fun, I promise. And yeah, we also, at rehearsals, we have some songs in the pipeline or whatever. We have a lot of material to work with, but sometimes it takes a bit longer to turn material or ideas into actual songs. But we are working on them. You don't have to fear for that. You won't hear the same set for like years in a row. That I can promise you. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, the usual socials. Yeah, that's about it, I guess.
Yeah, like Thomas said, we have some songs in the pipeline. So we're currently in the planning phase of our first full-length album. So we have an EP out right now, which you can find on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, all that other good stuff. We also have physical copies which you can buy at our shows. So come see us. So yeah, right now we are shooting a video for our song Path of the Wasted, which will be available probably later this year or early next year. And yeah, besides that, we're still looking for shows. So if you want to book us, like Thomas said, find us on socials on our website, scarbringer.be. Have a look and reach out to us if you're interested.
Thank you very much. That was all. So interview was done by Jan Vervaeke for Jan Vervaeke YouTube. Also be shared on Jan Vervaeke Photo and Film Facebook page. And while you're online, please give them a like, give them a follow, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Bye-bye. Thank you.